Luogossano rises on the side of a hill at 370 meters above sea level. It is surrounded by luxuriant flora and is situated in the middle valley of the Calore River along a river's meander in a favorable natural position. The built-up area has a population of 1,238 people. The place name derives from the Latin locus sanus, a healthy, salubrious place, undergoing the phonetic change from locossanum to locossano, eventually becoming Luogossano. The inhabitants are called Luogossanesi. The municipality, originally built up as a rural center, has maintained its agricultural features during the centuries. The territory has been inhabited since the Middle Bronze Age. Its first inhabitants lived in lakeside dwellings and built their villages near this water source. Other historical evidence can be found in several commemorative stones with Latin inscriptions, a necropolis in Monte dei Morti locality, some areas of earthenware fragments and clay, a brick bridge of the Roman imperial period. The Longobards, converted to Christianity, built the monastery of Santa Maria di Locossano, which was confirmed by Pope Stephen to the abbot Ottone in 752 AD, and as a property of the abbot of Volturno in 1012. In the 60s, the agriculture suffered an expected decrease, but today the situation seems steady, with a slight growth phase, and it is mostly due to wine and olive oil cultivations. In 1980, an earthquake seriously damaged the artistic and historical heritage of Luogossano, in particular destroying an ancient building of the 17th century. The municipality of Luogossano is in the center of IRPINIA. Morphologically, the territory extends itself alongside a hill, while at the foot, on the south side, the river Calore flows. From an ecological point of view, the low level of anthropization allowed the preservation and the continuity of the ecological network and a stabilization of the equilibrium and habitat. The territory of Luogossano shows many elements of great naturalistic interest. Among them stands out the area where the stream Fredane flows into the Calore River, characterized by the typical flora and the plentiful fauna, whose most important element is the rose heron. Luogossano arises at the foot of Monte Pidocchio, whose peak can be reached exclusively through paths to enjoy the view of the Calore River from on high. According to new tourist trends, which conceive the holiday based not only on leisure and relaxation, but also perceived as a life experience and personal enrichment, the municipality of Luogossano is able to provide tour packages that meet the needs of travelers who are careful about the quality of life and the excellence and typicality of places. IRPINIA, the green heart of Campania, can be an important support to the overall revitalization of tourism, especially inland areas. The historic city center preserves small buildings with stone portals and typical wrought iron balconies, depicting the small buildings of the 17th and the 18th century, which also have stone portals and the typical wrought iron balconies with its medieval structure. Located in the village's main square is the village's cathedral, named Santa Maria Maggiore. The Longobards converted to Christianity. Nowadays, the church preserves a monumental baptismal font dated 1586 and a magnificent high altar dated 1739, which was donated by the archpriest Jacopo Antonio Venuti. The Church of Madonna del Carmine is found outside the built-up area of Luogossano. This little church, flanked by a group of houses inhabited until a few decades ago, is an ancient chapel dedicated to the Madonna del Carmine. It is open for veneration on Monday after Easter and on July the 16th. The church and its surroundings were formerly used as an ossuary, that is, the repository of human bones that came from the cathedral and the Chiesa della Pietà. That is the reason why some older people called it cimitero, or cemetery. It is built on the highest part of the village, and it has been rebuilt several times. On the walls there are some oil paintings illustrating the life of Jesus. It is an ancient noble church dating back to the first years of the 18th century, built by the Venuti family, who donated to the municipality of Luogossano, even though it preserved the right for its members to be buried in the church's entrance. This right was abolished in 1804 due to the Napoleonic laws, which forbade burials in churches. As it can be read in the Acts of the Town Council, this church was considered suitable for burying dead people because it was far and isolated from the center of the village. From 1862, on the high altar, there is a wooden sculpture of the statue of the Pietà of the 18th century fine craftsmanship. At the entrance of the church of Santa Maria della Pietà, there is an ancient gate that dates back to the early 20th century, and near the entrance there is the pedana, or base, to bring the Virgin Mary in procession. Near the church, there was a small and characteristic bell tower that was seriously damaged in the earthquake of 1962. Then it was demolished and rebuilt in reinforced concrete, which is more solid and resistant, but less characteristic. In the historic center of Luogossano, there is a fine noble building, Palazzo Venuti. Going straight on Via Dante Alighieri, on the left side, there is the ancient building that was owned by the Venuti family and that holds so much history for Luogossano and its inhabitants. The facade of the building has been redone several times, and the front courtyard itself has had an architectural finish of great artistic value that, together with good taste, preserves the original plan. The garden also contributes to the beauty of the building, making it even more gorgeous and majestic. It can be said that despite several restorations, the building maintains its neoclassic style. Furthermore, here lived Don Angelico Venuti, lawyer, well-known jurist, and a trustworthy man of Alcide de Gasperi. Palazzo Spinelli. Along Via Pietà, going to the center of the village, we notice this ancient noble building that, in spite of a modern retouching undergone in recent times, still shows the magnificence of its structure and the hints of Luogossano's important past. The noble and elegant building has been recently restored, and the Spinelli family, who were its owners, together with another noble family, the Festas, had inhabited it until the 50s, when both families moved to Naples, and their members gradually lost their contacts with Luogossano. In the post-war period, a wing of the building and its central lounge room hosted the elementary school that remained there until the 60s, when it moved to the new school building. The structure, which has the form of a fortress, its majestic entrance with the ancient portal, the entrance hall, the stairs, the garden that included the servitude entrances, the rooms and the kitchens, the cellars, and the stables, are a glimpse of the magnificence of this building and of the prosperity of the lords who lived there. Palazzo Martino. Near Alcide de Gasperi Square rises the property of the Martinos, another historical Luogossano family that in the past led many of its members into the town council of the municipality of Luogossano. From the beginning of the 20th century, the political and professional activities of Michele Martino brought his family to lead the town until the end of the 60s, gaining wide acceptance among the local population. Iannacco Tower. Near today's built-up area, there is an important Norman tower, which had been used for defensive and sighting purposes. This tower, which stood on the Iannacco family's property, was demolished after the earthquake of 1980 and rebuilt with seismic criteria, although it has no resemblance to the old one. It also has a quadrangular base, and it is more than 11 meters in height. Within the walls there are several windows and numerous openings for the activation of a dovecote. It has 3 interior overlaid floors with wooden beamed ceilings. The entrance is on the ground floor through the high arch entrance. Wash house of Via Fontana, called Toriello or Controboni. The public washroom of Via Fontana has been a very important place for the people of Luogossano for a very long time. Lots of farmers have used this water to quench their herds directly from the source to the stables. Furthermore, the inhabitants of Luogossano use this water to wash their laundry. The wash house has also been used to irrigate the crops and the vegetables of many hard-working farmers who bring the water to the fields through channels and conduits, making possible the production of food that fed the families and the entire local population. Nowadays, the water of this wash house is unused and flows down to the valley towards the Calore River.